The conference room was buzzing with conversation, but I barely heard any of it. My phone lit up with a call from Tyler. I stepped out into the hallway, expecting the usual questions. How's the trip? When will you be home? The kind of small talk we had been reduced to in recent months. But when I answered, his voice was different, cold, smug. I'm divorcing you, he said. I already sold the apartment, so you'll need to figure out where to live. Have fun with that. For a moment, I couldn't even process what he had just said. It was like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. He was proud of this. He was actually enjoying telling me. I gripped my phone tighter, my fingers shaking slightly. You sold the apartment? I asked, forcing my voice to stay calm. Yeah, he said with a dry laugh. Nicole and I need the money for our new life together. She deserves better than that tiny place anyway. Nicole. The name cut deep. I had suspected for months that there was someone else. The late nights, the sudden work trips, the way he had been more distant, more dismissive. I wasn't stupid, I had seen the signs, but hearing him say her name, like I was the outsider in their story, was something else entirely. It lit a fire in me. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of knowing he had hurt me. Sounds good, I said smoothly, as if he had just told me something as casual as a change in dinner plans. I wasn't going to break. My name is Amelia, and before that phone call, I believed I had married a man I could trust. Tyler and I had been together for 6 years. We had worked hard to buy our apartment, a cozy 2-bedroom in the city, the first place that had truly felt like home. It wasn't just an apartment, it was the life we had built together. At least, that's what I thought. Looking back, I should have seen the cracks forming long ago. The way he avoided talking about finances, the way he dismissed my concerns with a charming smile and a quick kiss, making me feel like I was overthinking things. I used to think he was confident. Now, I realized he had just been good at lying. The rest of the day was a blur. I sat through client meetings, nodding at the right moments, pretending to listen while my mind raced. Tyler thought he had won. He thought he could sell my home, leave me stranded, and start fresh with his new girlfriend, all without a single consequence. But there was one very important thing he didn't know. The apartment was in my name. Months ago, we had refinanced the mortgage to get a better interest rate. During that process, I had the deed transferred to my name only. Tyler, being the careless idiot he was, had signed the paperwork without even reading it. He thought he was getting a lower monthly payment. He never realized he was signing away his rights to the apartment. That mistake was about to cost him everything. That night, when I got back to my hotel, my initial shock faded into something else. Determination. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to beg. Tyler wanted to play dirty, fine. But I was going to win. The first call I made was to Chloe, my lawyer and close friend. She picked up on the second ring. Hey, how's the trip? Change of plans, I said, my voice cool. Tyler just called. He's divorcing me. There was a pause. What? Oh, and apparently, he sold the apartment. Silence, then, a sharp inhale. Amelia, he can't do that. I smiled. Exactly. I explained everything, laying out the situation while keeping my voice as calm as possible. Even though my heart was pounding, I refused to let the emotions take over. When I finished, Chloe let out a short laugh. Well, he's in for a nasty surprise. He thinks he's already spent the money on his new life with Nicole, I said, a hint of amusement creeping into my voice. Chloe chuckled. Then he's about to have a really bad day. The sale is invalid. The apartment legally belongs to you. And if he took money from a buyer, that's fraud. The word sent a wave of satisfaction through me. Finally, he was the one who had something to lose. What do we do next? I asked. First, we notify the buyer that the sale isn't legal, Chloe said. Then, we draft a formal letter for Tyler explaining exactly how much trouble he's in. If he tries anything else, we take him to court. I leaned back against the bed, feeling calmer than I had all day. Tyler thought he had outsmarted me, that he had left me powerless and scrambling. But in reality, he had just set himself up for disaster. For the rest of my trip, I focused on work. I locked away my emotions, pushing all my energy into the task ahead. The betrayal still stung, but the thought of taking back what was mine, and watching Tyler's smugness crumble, gave me strength. By the time I boarded my flight home, I was ready. Ready to face Tyler. Ready to destroy his little fantasy. Ready to take back control. I took a deep breath, my voice firm. You told me you were divorcing me and laughed about how I'd have to find a new place to live. You didn't just betray me, Tyler, you tried to destroy me, so don't stand there acting like you're the victim. Nicole took a step back, clutching her purse, her eyes darting between us. This is crazy, she muttered. You didn't tell me any of this, Tyler. You said everything was taken care of. Tyler turned to her, panic in his eyes. Nicole, I can fix this, I just need. She cut him off with a sharp gesture. Don't, I'm not getting dragged into your mess. With that, she spun on her heel and walked out, slamming the door behind her. I couldn't help but smile. Looks like you're on your own, I said, turning back to him. Now, let's talk about what happens next. He dropped onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. Amelia, please, I know I messed up, but you don't have to do this. You're right, I said, placing a folder on the coffee table. I don't have to, but I'm going to. I slid the folder toward him. These are the divorce papers. My lawyer already prepared everything. I suggest you sign them fast so we can both move on. He stared at the folder, his face pale. You really hate me that much? I let out a small, bitter laugh. No, Tyler, I don't hate you. I feel sorry for you. You had everything, someone who loved you, a home we built together, and you threw it all away. I stood up, heart pounding but steady. I want you out by the end of the day. Take your stuff and figure out where you're staying. This is the last time I'm giving you any grace. He opened his mouth like he wanted to argue, but then his shoulders slumped. Fine, he muttered. I'll go. Good, I said, walking toward the door. And don't try anything. Chloe's handling everything now. If you cross another line, the courts will deal with you. Tyler slowly stood, grabbed his coat, and walked past me without looking back. His footsteps were heavy, full of defeat. For a moment, I felt a small pang of sadness, not for him, but for the life I had once imagined for us. But the feeling faded quickly, replaced by relief. I closed the door behind him and locked it with the new key I had made. This was my home now, and no one, not even Tyler, would take it from me again. The silence after he left was strange but freeing. For the first time in years, I could finally breathe. The apartment no longer felt heavy with his presence, his lies, or his selfishness. It was just me and the space I had worked so hard to build. Looking around, I noticed how different everything felt without him. His ugly gaming chair was gone, the framed jerseys that cluttered the walls, gone, the gaudy coffee table he insisted on keeping, gone. The apartment looked cleaner, brighter, like it was truly mine again. That evening, Lauren came over with takeout and a bottle of wine. She flopped onto the couch with a dramatic sigh. Is he really gone? Gone and not coming back, I said, pouring 2 glasses of wine. I gave him until the end of the day to pack his things. He didn't fight me. Lauren raised her glass, to fresh starts and well-deserved victories. I clinked my glass against hers, feeling lighter than I had in weeks, to never letting someone walk all over me again. Over the next few days, I took back my space. I rearranged the furniture, hung up my favorite artwork, and filled the apartment with things that made me happy. It wasn't just about redecorating, it was about reclaiming my life. Chloe called with updates on the legal process. Her voice was confident, reassuring. The fraud charges are off the table since the buyer isn't pursuing them, she said, but the divorce is moving along smoothly. Once Tyler signs, you'll officially be free. The word free made my chest tighten. It wasn't just about ending a marriage, it was about letting go of years of self-doubt, of feeling stuck in a relationship that didn't value me. Tyler tried to reach out a few times. His messages were a mix of weak apologies and pathetic attempts to make me feel guilty. I made a mistake. One read, "Can't we just talk?" Another was more desperate, "You're going to ruin me, Amelia, is that what you want?" I never answered. For once, I wasn't wasting my energy trying to fix something that was beyond saving. He had made his choices, now, he had to live with them. By the end of the week, the apartment felt completely new, warm, peaceful, mine. I sat on the couch with a cup of tea, looking out at the city lights. Tyler's betrayal had been painful, but it had also been a wake-up call. For too long, I had settled for less than I deserved. I had let myself believe that I should just accept whatever little bits of love and respect he chose to give me. But now, I knew better. I wasn't just reclaiming my apartment, I was reclaiming myself. A month later, my life looked completely different. The apartment didn't just look new, it felt new, lighter, freer, without Tyler's mess and bad energy. It was finally a home that reflected me. The divorce process had been smooth, thanks to Chloe. Tyler signed the papers without much of a fight. No grand arguments, no emotional pleas, just a clean break. It was bittersweet, but mostly, it was satisfying. One day, as I sorted through some old things, I found a photo of Tyler and me from years ago. We were happy, arms wrapped around each other, full of hope. I stared at it for a moment, letting the memories wash over me. We had good times once, I had loved him once, but those moments were gone, buried under years of lies and selfishness. I slipped the photo into an envelope and put it in a drawer. It was a part of my past, but it didn't define me anymore. That night, Lauren and I went out to celebrate. "You're glowing," she said, raising her cocktail in a toast. "Single life looks good on you." I laughed, feeling lighter than ever. "It's not the single life," I said, "it's the freedom." For the first time, I wasn't living by anyone else's rules. This wasn't just the end of my marriage, it was the start of a new chapter, one where I was in control, one where I chose happiness on my own terms. And for the first time in a long time, I felt truly free.